Okay, so hello and good morning. So if those of you that are live with me, I was just talking about this before I started the recording, we're still kind of in a 4-hour window of the super full moon, the 48-hour effects of the super full moon, which is really intense. So I'm going to start us off and just put us on our backs, and then I'm going to read about the moon. But let me show you today's card is the medicine wheel. So we'll also be visiting all 4 directions. And if you can see on here, the animals that are represented is the jaguar, the eagle, the hummingbird up there in the north, and the snake pointing down Kundalini into the south. So so we'll take a little visit there as well. But first, I'm just going to read about the moon. So let's start on our backs. You can, and since it's a restorative day, we'll want to have all the props available that you possibly have, blankets, blocks, straps, even a bolster if you want it. But some sort of something to raise your spine or raise, you can take it vertically on the spine so that the heart does get some lifting here as well, and the shoulders get some grounding. Or you know this, you can take it around and do it the other way so that it's horizontally across your back, and that way the heart gets a little bit more lift and you get a little bit more of a back bend. So just whatever's going to feel the most supportive for you. You can also use a pillow if you don't have a blanket. A block could also go underneath your back if you want a really strong back bend. You can put that block between your shoulder blades. So just beginning with the breath. And letting your shoulders ground down. Letting your sacrum settle, your feet open, your legs open, no holding in the legs. With each exhale, dropping a little bit more weight. Sometimes it takes a while. Carolyn was saying this on Tuesday, and it's very true. Sometimes it takes a while for the head to let go of its weight. So just continue to allow your head, the back of the head, to drop and get heavy. Letting go. We hold our head up all day long. So just give it a little break now. So each exhale, a little more let's go. A little deeper into the cells, the bones. Let the 2 hemispheres of the brain separate away from each other. But we're just allowing more space in the body. So this is from the Moonology book by Yasmin Boland. She says, this is such a powerful full moon. There's no real way of knowing exactly what will be going on in your life or the world when you read this, but one thing's for sure. If the situation is already tense, this is a week for us to tread very carefully, no matter what our star or rising sign, race, creed, or color. The full moon isn't an eclipse, but it's placed so that the eruptive planet Pluto, it's placed so close to the eruptive planet Pluto that it might as well be an eclipse. So it has the same kind of eruptive effect of an eclipse. The issues you've been ignoring and hope they'll go away are the issues that most likely will be stirred up by this full moon. So whatever you're angry about and have been truly been trying to bypass, well, good luck with that. This full moon is a pot stirred, and evidently what we all need, or it wouldn't be happening. If you know that someone or something in your life has become toxic, you need to clear the air, detox, and clean. That includes relationships, situations at work, and even just your home if it's becoming really messy. There is good news though. Any crisis that this full moon seemingly brings about, in truth, it's just time for them to erupt. It can bring healing too. So, allowing that healing. And then put your feet on the ground if they're not there already. Either roll over or lift up your hips. However, you can easily get that blanket out from under you and put your hips, put it underneath your hips. And just take a moment. Let's pull the knees into the chest first and get a little bit of an opposite back bend of what we've been having for the last few minutes. Just allowing that blanket to assist with the cat tilt back bend. And then release the feet down and see how your low back feels. If you want to, you could also extend the legs, but if your back is not feeling like that's what you should do today, then keep the knees bent, take the feet wide if you're keeping the knees bent, and let the knees rest against each other. If that feels like a strain, then just put your feet hip distance apart and let your knees just lift up. So see, find your place for your feet, for your legs. Open your arms back out to the side. If you close them up, let them open. Back of the heart strong. Letting it go into the ground, feeling gravity. The back, the sacrum on the blanket, the hips releasing. So having the intention of really letting go, of finding the different levels of relaxation during this class. And if you have any other intentions, just layer that on top with it. Okay, then put the feet back down on the ground if you had extended the legs, and pull the knees in towards the chest again, and just pause again. Let your arms hold your legs and your legs hold your arms. And then let's put your feet back down and just roll over so you're off the blanket. Keep it there because we're going to use it for the next thing, but we're going to do a little bit of transition now. So just roll over and come on up to your hands and knees and spread your fingers wide on your mat in this table pose. Then just move your hips around in a circle, or if you just want to take them back and forth, just something that kind of gets a little bit more movement. Maybe a cat tilt and a dog tilt. And then tuck your toes under, take your hips back towards your heels. And then roll back up, untuck the toes, and get that blanket in a place where when your hips come down, they're going to come right on that blanket, and then go back to the child's pose. You can tuck the toes under or not when you come back, but we're just going to roll back and forth for a moment, and then we're going to lie down with that blanket, elevating our hips. So when you're ready to settle down, let that blanket be kind of on the lower hips so that it gets the top of the legs to where the legs attach to the hips. And then lie down. You can put a pillow underneath your head, a block underneath your head, or you can turn your head to one side. You can stack up your hands and let your forehead come on top of the hands. And then just take some breaths, letting the front of the body now. Exhale. Feeling gravity, grounding, letting go. Allowing for softness. Letting the shoulders round down towards the ground. No holding in the legs. Let the outer legs open. And then you can either keep your forehead down or you can turn your head to the left. We're just going to bring that left leg up so that's in a half frog. Just allowing that left hip to let go. So I'll just read a little bit from the medicine wheel. Just continuing to breathe into your hip. Letting your body drop and open. Just let yourself be held by the earth. Medicine wheel is a sacred hoop with the 4 cardinal directions well marked. It represents the cycle of life, the cycles of nature, and the circular pattern of our cosmos, which of course would include the circular pattern of the moon. It has been used for millennia in indigenous cultures to bring harmony and well-being to the village. Its directions symbolize the 4 steps the shaman takes to become a person of power and wisdom. So we'll take those 4 steps in a moment. But let's just sit with the circular nature, the cycle, the breath, the earth, the moon above, the planets, the stars. And release that left leg down beside the right. Maybe your hips wiggle a little bit. Let's press up for a moment before we do the other side. So take your hand, your palms down beside you, press up, come back into a child's pose, and just pause there for a moment. Then come on back up, maybe a little bit of child's pose to cobra a couple times, a little bit of movement before we pause on the other side. And when you're ready to come down, come on down. And if this blanket is uncomfortable, you can take it out. You don't have to use the blanket for this. Settle your head, either forehead down or turn your head to the right, and then, to the right, and then take the right leg out. So the invitation of the medicine wheel To manifest clear blue skies in your life, it's important that you take a look at certain aspects of your being. So identify, if you know where the south is, in whatever direction of your house or where you are, if you can identify where the south is, enter the medicine wheel from the south and reflect on how you are still clinging to events from the past. So as you're breathing, letting go. Maybe you know what these ways are, that are still clinging to the past, the aspects of you. Maybe you don't. Just ask for those to be washed away as you breathe. And bring that leg back in alignment with the left leg. Let's pick up both feet and let the knee or the feet go side to side. And then put your feet down. Take your palms beside your shoulders, tuck under your toes. You can go back to all fours. You can go back to child's pose. You can come up through plank. You can go back to down dog. See what your body wants and needs. If a down dog feels good, then of course do what you need to do to warm up your ankles, move them a little bit. And taking a pause, letting the hips lift up, letting the head release if you're in down dog. Even if you're in child's pose, let the head release. Okay, then come on down, take your knees down, then turn that blanket. So now it is vertical on your mat again. And we're going to do a belly down twist now. So both legs are going to start to the left. And put your hips, it's not going to go on the blanket, but right up against the blanket. And you can stack up if you have two blankets, or you can actually do this without a blanket too, if you would like. And then you're just going to take your body down and twist it so as much as you can so that your heart is facing down on that blanket. And then you can turn your head to the same side as your legs. It's the least stressful on your neck. Or you can have your head down. That might actually, or your forehead down, that might actually be the least stressful. Or if you would like more of a twist, turn that head to the right. And breathe again, letting go. Soften the belly. Soften the shoulders. And then continue to the direction of west on the medicine wheel. And notice the relationships that are toxic and drain your energy. You're going to let those go now. Just allowing the aspects of the relationship or of yourself, whatever it is, that leaves you with a sense of being drained. Could be a relationship with work, doesn't have to be a person, could be a relationship with yourself. That's what I found the hardest this week, was the relationship with myself. I don't know if that's true for you or not. But just letting go of that fight, that part of the brain, that's ways of thinking that your ancestors may have passed on to you that are not useful anymore. Let those twist out of your body, like we're wringing them out, so that we can, when we eventually arrive at the east, we'll begin again. So letting the sun set in the west on anything toxic, anything draining. And then turn your forehead down. If it's not, take your palms beside you. Come on up. You could take a child's pose. You could take a cat tilt and dog tilt here in table pose. You can tuck your toes under and come into a down dog. If you want a vinyasa, feel free to take a vinyasa here before we shift to the other side. Then when you're ready, let your knees go over to the right. Adjust that blanket if you need to. Roll out as much as you can. Turn, turn, turn so that your heart faces the floor. And then adjust your head in the position in which will allow you to let go even more. As you're breathing, identify the north side of your house and step into the north of the medicine wheel and ask yourself, do I know my passion and show it? So what are you passionate about? And is it a secret to the world? If so, see if you can breathe and find some space, some courage to allow that passion to be seen a little in maybe a teeny tiny small way. Maybe in a big grand way, erupting with this full moon. It can also erupt into the good. Chaos brings stillness, brings peace, helps us to see what we need to let go of. Makes room for expression of that energy in passionate, constructive ways. So just for the last few breaths, see if you can let go a little bit more. Let your heart rest a little more. A little deeper level in this relaxed moment, this relaxed breath. And then turn the forehead down, take the palms beside you, come on up, do what you need to do, child's pose, vinyasa, down dog. Okay, and then come on down and have a seat for a moment. Whatever comfortable way you want. You can sit on a block, on a blanket. You can cross your legs. You can take your legs straight out. Let's just make some circles now with the hips around. Let's bring in some of the element of water. And then circle around the other way. And then just pause in the middle. Let your shoulders now circle. And go the other way. And then pause and just take your fingertips down beside you. Make contact with the ground with the palms or the fingertips. And then reaching the arms up, let the palms face each other. Let the shoulder blades ground down the back for a moment. And then place your right palm down and allow that left shoulder blade to continue to ground as you reach over now to the left. And then turn a little bit more, come up and turn a little bit more to the right so that you can take the left hand to the outside of the right leg and then take a look behind you. Breathe in, deep breath. Find the length in that spine. Find the opening across the front of the chest. And then just face the front again, touch the earth on either side. Lift the hands. Let the palms face each other. Let the shoulders ground back down. And let's begin on the left side now. Palm down. Continue to ground that right shoulder blade down as you reach to the left. And turn the heart a little bit so it's facing up towards the ceiling as well. And then let the breath in. Continuing to let go through the process of the breath. It's available with each breath. Each exhale can let go, making more space for the new to come in. Okay, now come on up a bit and turn now to the left. So you can take that twist so that you can lengthen the spine and broaden the chest. And then let your chin come down just slightly towards that left shoulder so the back of the neck finds a little more space. And then let's face the front again. Let your shoulders have a little roll again. And switch your legs. If you've been sitting cross-legged, take the other one in front. And then let's make circles with the nose in the air. Get a little bit of movement here in the neck. And then go the other way. And then just take a look left and then a look right. Just slow, just turning from the left to the right. And then stay with the right and take the ear towards the shoulder. And then take the right hand to the left side of the head. Take the left hand and let's move the lymph here. So we'll start from the base of the jaw and the ear, right where the ear and the jaw meet, and then just bring it down to the collarbone there. And it's just a very soft, like as if you were stroking your cat or your dog. Just a nice little flowing motion, getting that fluid to the lymph. And then come on up. And then look towards the left. And then turn the left ear down towards the left shoulder. Left hand to the right side. And then take your right hand and move it from the base of the ear where the jaw meets the ear on down to that collarbone. Again, very soft, like you're trying to put that cat or dog to sleep or child to sleep so you could have some peace. Maisie's demonstrating that. She's on the couch. She was chewing up a toy and she's got all this stuffing all around her and she's dead asleep. You can't quite see her. She's just off the camera. Okay, and then look straight up again. If you need to shift the way you're sitting or your legs, we're just going to do a couple more things seated. So please shift if you need to. Okay, and then take your right hand and we're going to go from the middle, like right where the collarbone, where you feel that bone right below the collarbone, and we're just going to move it over to the shoulder. Just a little more lymph movement here. Again, just really soft, like you're petting, trying to induce sleep, but also thinking about flow, about the water, the movement of the waves, you know, how they go in and then they go out in the ocean. Kind of mimicking that flow. And then pause. Give your fingers a little flick. If anything you've accumulated, anything energetically, just let it flick out. And then bring your palms together and get them a little warm. Should have done this on that one side, but I forgot. But we'll just transfer it. And then give it a little blow. Give it some pranic energy with your breath. And then take that left hand on the right side and go from just right along the bottom of the collarbone where it starts, where you feel that bony place that sticks out, and then over to the shoulder. Okay, and then flick out anything. And then we're going to just take our feet straight out in front of us. If you have a strap, it might be kind of nice just to use a strap for this forward bend if you want it. If you don't have to use it. But it's just going to be a very soft forward bend. So you can actually, I usually say we have to lift up and engage in the grounding and the lifting, but on this one, we're just going to roll forward. So you can either use a strap, or if your arms are long enough to grab your toes, and just let your head round. And then just breathe so that your shoulder blades are separating in this forward bend. We're doing this as more of a style of yin so that we can kind of soften a little bit more. And no, we still have the east to do on the medicine wheel, so we'll do that when we lie back down on our back. We can do a little bit here now. So come on up, and then bring in your right foot, and you can cross it over the left leg, or you can keep it to the inside of the leg, but just make sure both sit bones get down nice and strong. And on this one, we do want to flex that left foot pretty well and keep the right foot on the ground. And then we're just going to turn. So a little deeper twist here now to the right. Find your length in the spine. Find that broadness across the chest. Each exhale helps you let go. And then face the front again, release that leg out. Bring the other one in. Cross it over. If you're crossing it, balance the sit bones. Keep the left foot on the ground. Nice flex in the right foot as we turn, turn, turn to the left. So encouraging the movement of water along the spine with each breath. And then release. And let's come on down or on up to first, maybe you can take a down dog if you want, but we're just going to come to standing for a couple minutes and do some shoulder stuff. So come on up and just take a moment in mountain pose first. Pick up your toes, put them back down, grounding the base and tips of the toes. Let's engage the inner thighs towards each other. Begin to ground the outer edges of the feet. Start to feel that flow upward through the center of the body and downward as the shoulders relax down as well. Through the outer edges of the body, downward. Balancing. And then take your feet just a little bit wider, maybe a little bit wider than your hips, maybe hip distance. And if you want to have a strap, you can have a strap and hold it between your hands. If you want to just clasp your hands, you can take the hands and clasp them. And we'll just take a forward bend here. Send that breath to the backs of the thighs now. Release the arms down. Let's do one more twist. Bend the right knee. Take the right hand to the outside of the left leg. Take the left hand to the sacrum and turn and open here. You can adjust that arm so that it goes up, so that it goes around. Maybe it tucks into the hip crease. Maybe it just stays on that sacrum, grounded and strong. Breathe. You could also do the bind if you know the bind and like the bind here with your arms. Okay, and release. Let's roll back up before we do the other side. Lift the arms, palms together, bring them to the heart. Take a little pause here. Give the shoulders a roll here. And then take the hands back. If you clasp the hands together last time, take the awkward clasp. So take the other finger on top. You can start with the arms bent if you like, and let the elbows come closer together so that the shoulder blades come closer together. The front of the chest is wide open. And then come on into your forward bend, and you can extend the arms when you get there. And then release the arms. Bend the left knee, keep the right leg pretty straight. Take the left hand to the outside of the right leg. Right hand to the sacrum. Open it up if you want that right arm to lift or wrap around, or you could take the bind here if you want. And then exhale, roll back down into your forward bend and roll yourself up. Then let's take the feet wide, nice and wide. And let's turn the right toes out and the left in a little bit so that we can come into a warrior two on this side. And let's just move a tiny bit here. So lift the arms and straighten the legs and come back down to warrior two. Just kind of ease our way into this. And then stay with your warrior two. Let's do a reverse warrior just to open up that right side a little bit more. And then come on into your warrior two. And let's take the eagle arms here. So the right arm can go under, left on top. Backs of the hands can come together, or the palms, or you could just take your hands to your shoulders here. Whatever is most comfortable for you. You can let the elbows lift a little bit more if you'd like more of a back bend. If not, just keep them level. And open them back out. Release. Let's turn those toes. So both sets of toes are facing the long side of the mat now. And let's do one more forward bend here. So you can take your strap or you can clasp your hands back behind you and then take your forward bend. And then let your palms come to the ground. Let's take a wide leg downward facing dog before we come up. So let your hands walk forward. Let your heels and the outer edges of the feet ground down. And then back on up, hands underneath the face. Take your hands to your waist, come on up. Then let's turn to the left in that warrior two position. Beginning with turning the palms up, reaching and lifting, straightening the front leg and then bending it. Stay with the warrior two. So then you can move into reverse warrior, opening up that left side now. Ground the outer edges of both feet. Breathe. Back to your warrior two. And then let's take the eagle arms here. Left arm can go under. Palms can just rest on the shoulders, backs of the hands, or palms together. If you want more of the back bend, then lift the elbows. See if you can ground down lower in the feet, in the legs, especially if you're taking the back bend. Watch that front knee. Make sure you know how it feels when it's in alignment, meaning it stays more right over that ankle instead of to the inside or outside of the ankle. And then open everything back up. Turn both sets of toes back towards the front, and then just heel toe everything back together. We'll just end here with a mountain pose. If you want to take a couple more shoulder rolls, please do. Okay, and then let's come down onto your backs and get your strap. If you don't have a strap, you can take a belt or even a towel or something would work. But get that nearby. And just take a moment to acclimate your back again to the mat. Just letting go. And then let's lengthen both legs out and take your arms up over your head. Just take a nice stretch. You can clasp the hands together and turn the palms away from the head if you'd like. And then bring that right knee in. Let's give the ankle a nice circle. Then take your strap, put it at the base of the toes, and extend that leg up. We're just going to pause here for a moment, just allowing the strap to do the work. Just hang on to the strap. Let that leg bone, the base, the top of the leg bone, the thigh bone, to also ground down into the ground, into the hip. Thinking about that solid structure that we have that holds us together. The foundation. And then take the straps both into the right hand and begin to open that leg out to the right. Keep that left sit bone or that left hip grounded. You can take your left hand on your hip, or you can take your left hand overhead. If you really want to make it nice and restorative, you could put a block so that your leg is resting on a block here. That's a really nice position to do this. Or a pillow or a bolster could work underneath the leg. Just a couple more breaths here. See if you can begin to extend the exhalation. Take it as far out as it will go. And with your next inhale, bring the leg up. Just shift the straps into the left hand. We're only going to go a tiny bit over to the left with that leg, just about 6 inches to a foot at the most. And then if you want to, you can take your hand and just give a nice massage to that outer hip, that outer glute. Or you can just rest and take the arm out. Again, see if you can extend the exhalation. Take it as far as you can go and find that pause right at the end where everything is still and silent. Okay, bring that leg back up, release, bend the knee. You can circle the ankle, or you can circle the knee around the hip if you want, if that feels nice. And then let's release that leg and take a nice, strong stretch. Again, arms overhead. You can clasp the hands or just reach. And bring the left knee in. Give the ankle a few circles. Take your strap around the base of the right foot and let it extend. Just pausing, holding that strap. Extend the exhalation. Find the pause between the exhalation and the inhalation. And shift the strap, both straps, into the left hand. Begin to open that leg out to the left. Maybe put a little pressure on that right hip with the right hand to make sure that it stays on the ground. If you want your block to support that leg, take the block underneath it. Or maybe a couple blocks. Maybe that left arm reaches overhead if you feel like your left hip is nice and solid. If you don't, then the right arm goes up overhead and the right hip stays nice and solid. And if that hip's really lifting up from the ground, then bring that left leg more center. Don't take it out quite so far. It's really nice if you have support underneath it. You can really let those muscles go on the left side. And begin to bring the leg center, shift, take the straps with the left hand, just a little bit over to the right with that left leg, 6 inches to a foot. Maybe give a little massage to the outer hip, to the glutes. And breathe. Extend, follow the exhalation till it stops. Notice the pause and let the air come back in. Okay, release the strap, bring the knee in. And circle the ankle, you can circle the knee. We've got about 5 more minutes. You can do a shavasana, you can do your legs up the wall or any kind of supported inversion. You can put a block underneath your hips and just have a supported bridge even, or just the traditional shavasana. Whatever would feel nice and relaxing to you, take it, please. Okay, so back to the medicine wheel. Once you get settled in whatever pose you're ending with, bring your attention to the direction of the east. And as you're drifting off, just see if you can visualize how you want to live the next chapter of your life. How would you like to begin again after this class? Maybe there's qualities, maybe there's something you would like to do. Maybe it has something with igniting that passion. And again, following the exhale all the way. So it's gone. Pausing. As the inhale comes in, let the movement of your breath inspire any movement in your body if you need it. If you want to come out of whatever you're in, if you don't, stay in it. Okay, then if you're taking a seat, then let your palms come together, balancing all four directions, north, south, east, and west, and above and below. Take that medicine wheel with you out there today. Namaste.
Namaste. Very nice.
Thank you. Hi, Lee. I'm glad you got the link. Okay, take good care, everyone.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend. And you all saw that there's no class for 2 weeks after this, I hope. You saw that with the email. I'm going to Santa Barbara. And so, yes. So I put on the email, the other emails, Carolyn has great classes, Deborah has great classes. So if you want any, then also I'll give you, next week I'll send you the link to my YouTube channel because there's a couple of yoga practices on that too. And I might just put this one on there too, so you can have a restorative. Okay,
Great.
and if you want this recording, let me know. All right.
Enjoy.
Thank you.